And behind me, there's a truck that practically no one has seen yet. They brought me to Detroit for an exclusive presentation in a private studio to give me this scoop. A pickup truck that's one of a kind. A pickup truck with some impressive capabilities. You won't want to miss this video. Welcome. And I'm going to quickly talk to you about the distinctive, unique design that this Ram 2500 has. I say quickly because there's a line of journalists here, including Americans from other cities, from the West Coast, from the North, from Canada. People have come here and we have to move quickly. But let me show you what this Ram 2500 conveys visually. From the front, you can clearly see the Ram pickup identity, along with this protective push bar they've added as an example. Because this vehicle, as I said, is specifically designed for police pursuits and emergency response. And obviously, it has good bar protection. This is modifiable, adaptable according to each need and according to the emergency team that will be using it. You have the Ram-style front grille with great functionality, sensors, cameras, speed controls, and added protection below. Also with the same functionality, the headlights, the lighting assembly is totally similar to what the heavy-duty 2500 has. With its running lights, its fog lights, that doesn't change. The rear part, obviously the bed is still the same as the 2500 heavy-duty. We don't have, let's say, cosmetic or aesthetic changes that could be adapted or modified, of course. I don't remember the towing capacity at the moment, but I'll put it there in text for the 2500. But basically it would be the same, with its connections for the trailer and the same functionality as the bed of a Ram heavy-duty. Here we are looking at the Ram 2500 Emergency Response Vehicle, 2027. The Emergency Response Vehicle. It's a version that's specifically designed for police, rescue, and emergency services. It's not just a cosmetic package. The truck has real modifications to operate in demanding situations where you would normally see police SUVs or pursuit sedans. What's under the hood? Well, there's something that many Ram fans will recognize immediately, which is a 6.4-liter Hemi V8 engine. It gives you 405 horsepower and 429 pound-feet of torque. That engine is connected to an 8-speed automatic transmission designed for heavy-duty work. Also, this version uses a 4.10 axle ratio, which is shorter than the standard ratio of the Ram 2500. What is this for? To improve acceleration and response when you need to take off really fast, which is key in emergency situations. That's the story of this truck. Now, it's a performance that surprises in a pickup. Yes, because here comes one of the most interesting facts. In official tests, this truck did 0 to 60 in 8.41 seconds. For a pickup of this size and weight, these are pretty respectable numbers, let me tell you. The top recorded speed is 103 miles per hour. And something interesting is that in acceleration, it was only 2 seconds behind smaller pickups and police SUVs on the market. The power is sent to the wheels through a 4x4 system with a 2-speed transfer case. And it also features an anti-spin differential, which helps maintain traction when a wheel loses grip. All of this is designed to work well on mixed terrain, meaning from highways to rural roads or mountainous areas. Now, these rims aren't just an aesthetic detail. They're more resistant to impacts and heavy use than many alloy rims. In other words, they're specifically designed for that purpose. But what is the interior of this specially equipped Ram police pursuit vehicle like? Well, let's take a look. But first, if you're enjoying the video, give it a like. And obviously, not everyone has access to this vehicle, but I also have videos, reviews, information, rankings, and critiques on my channel. I talk about problems that vehicles have had. I mean, that's the kind of guidance a lot of people are looking for. And if you subscribe, we're also helping other people get this information so they can make better informed decisions. So I really appreciate not just the like, but also the subscription, because that helps spread the information, and it's also a way to show support for this channel. I truly thank you from the bottom of my heart. We see in the Ram, the image of the Ram here with the air conditioning vents, a slightly smaller screen than in other videos. See you later. Central part of the traditional air conditioning controls, as is typical in Ram designs, quite a few auxiliary buttons. You have your 4x4 controls here, and the same dashboard. Yes, inside there are some different things that I'll tell you about in a moment, but visually this is what you can see. And see you in the video. This is a test unit, but look at this. This is, let's say, an actual seat. These used to be included in pickup trucks. It was a standard feature in other types of trucks before. Well, this one has it on this Ram 2500 Pursuit unit. You'll also have this option, but you don't lose your center console. Here you also have a compartment in the middle with cup holders, with its storage space. But well, it also functions as a center seat. Inside this cabin, you'll notice some interesting changes. Later. For vehicle systems, it has auxiliary switches that I showed you a while ago. For vehicle systems adapted for the police, obviously, switches on the dashboard. You have dedicated wiring to install radios and emergency equipment. Here you won't see all the, let's say, the gadgets it will have. Once it's integrated with the police, it will have many more things. But something interesting is that this Ram uses a column shifter, which frees up space in the center console. Look, the shifter is here. This is one of the differences we haven't seen in a while. Now they're putting them, let's say, on the console. Even with that 8-speed transmission, this one has the shifter here so you can free up more space here, obviously to put your emergency equipment there. That extra space is typically used for computers. As you know, police vehicles have radios, communication controls, and a computer. Anyone who has received a ticket knows what that means. This truck, just as you see it, was subjected to rigorous tests by the Michigan State Police, which are some of the most demanding for police vehicles in the entire United States. Among the tests it had to complete, there were ergonomics and operation tests, and 32 full laps around the Grattan Raceway circuit. That circuit has very tight turns, elevation changes, and it also has a long straight where braking and acceleration are tested. Why? Because it's necessary. Let's talk about the suspension system, because another interesting detail is that this Ram uses the 5-link rear suspension system with coil springs, something that Ram has used for years in its heavy-duty trucks, in its work trucks, to obviously improve stability and handling, especially when the vehicle is under heavy loads or quick maneuvers. These are some of the features that make it very special. That's why I've dedicated myself to describing a vehicle that obviously won't be available for public sale. It's not for everyone. It's for emergency response auxiliaries, police vehicles, people who work in emergency response here in the United States. But it has some features that I think you could easily or eventually see incorporated into future products. Later. In their pickup trucks, the interesting thing here is that this type of truck, the Ram 2500 Heavy Duty, is always focused on that, on heavy-duty work. In terms of payload capacity, towing, some off-road capability as well, but that's the focus. That's why the suspension calibration, the whole adaptation of the cabin, everything it has. It's designed for high-speed pursuits to chase down criminals, to be able to respond in an optimal and proper way in emergency situations. Very good. Good. What do you think about the Ram 2500 truck? Later. Special features. Well, what has caught your attention the most? Let me know your opinion in the comments. You know, I read the comments, and also, those comments help me get a better idea and give me ideas for other videos. So, let me know your opinion there in the comments section. And, well, I'm going to leave a video here that you're also going to really like. Check it out. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. It's a way to support this channel. And also, you know I create content. I make an effort to bring you valuable information. That allows you to make good purchasing decisions, that alerts you about possible problems some vehicles might have, that presents you with rankings, industry news, and updates. I try to do a good job researching so that you are well informed. And by liking the videos and subscribing, we can help other people who are looking for vehicles, who are seeking guidance when buying a vehicle, or simply those who like cars, automobiles, and the automotive world. We also help them get more of these videos. Well, I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Later. But in the next video, I'll send you a big hug.